The history of astronomy timeline. The Mesopotamians created ziggurats. These were observatories. They were built up higher in the air so that they could observe the universe more clearly. They also had created the idea that the circle was 360 degrees. The Egyptians had built pyramids that were aligned with the cardinal points. They had also developed a calendar to be used for predicting the Nile flood. In the Stonehenge, the heel stone marks the time of the year summer solstice.
The main axis of the monument faces the horizon where the sun rises. The Chinese record 900 solar eclipses and 600 lunar eclipses. They also record meteor showers and guest stars. With those observations, they measure the length of years.
Thales predicted a whole solar eclipse. The eclipse took place during a battle between the Lydians and the Persians in 585 BC. Pythagoras created Pythagorean theorem. He rejected the idea that the earth was flat and was actually spherical. He also had the idea that the earth isn't stationary but moves about, unseen.
The Babylonians discovered that eclipses occur in series that repeat at intervals of 223 months, which is 18.6 years. This interval of time is called the Saros. Aristotle modified the model of Exodus. He argued that celestial motions must be circular because circular motion is the only kind of motion that can be repeated forever. He also said that the earth must be motionless at the center of the universe.
Aristarchus applied geometry to the study of astronomy. He proposed using lunar eclipses to predict the relative sizes of the moon and the earth. Eratosthenes used geometry to calculate the size of the earth. He used latitude and altitude of the midday sun to find the difference between Cygne and Alexandria. Hipparchus discovered a new star. This was probably the earliest systematic catalog of the brightest stars. He gave positions and indications of the brightness for about 850 stars. Mayan buildings and monuments were aligned to the position of the sunrise and sunset at the equinoxes and solstices. The planet Venus was identified like an important god. The Mayan calendar kept track of the moon, sun, and Venus. Ptolemy created this geocentric model, which is the Earth is stationary at the center of the solar system. He also invented terrestrial latitude and longitude. The Arabs and Muslims' first systematic observations are reported on the patronage of the Al-Mamun.
These observations detail of the sun, moon, and planets were undertaken. They also made the Persian solar calendar.
Copernicus created the heliocentric model, which means that the sun is the center of the universe. He also created the idea of the sidereal period, which is the length of time it takes for a planet to complete one orbit around the sun.
Brahim made observation of the supernova. He also proposed a model of the solar system between the Ptolemaic and Copernican models.
He also created the stellar parallax, annual apparent change in the position of a star caused by motion of the Earth around the sun.
Galileo controlled the first known complete astronomical telescope.
He observed the Milky Way and found its glow was combined radiance of the myriad stars. He accurately interpreted the motion of sunspots as the rotation of the sun about its axis. Kepler, a colleague of Brahe, created the laws of planetary motion, which is where a planet is closer to a large body of mass and it orbits faster. Kepler's second law says that a planet moves so that an imaginary line connecting the planet to the sun sweeps out equal areas in equal intervals of time. Newton had created calculus and also found the equation for force, which equals mass times acceleration. He also created the law of motion, which says an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon.
Edmund Halley discovered orbital paths of comets. and he calculated comets' orbit around the Sun on highly elliptical orbits. Einstein created the theory of relativity, which is E equals mc squared. He also created the development of atomic energy.
Niels Bohr identified uranium-235 as the isotope responsible for slow neutron fission. Proposed electromagnetic radiation is emitted by atoms when electrons move between energy levels. Wolfgang Pauli was instrumental in the development of modern theory of quantum mechanics and his formulation of exclusion principle.
Werner Heisenberg developed new theories in quantum mechanics about the behavior of electrons, which agreed with the results of previous experiments. Edwin Hubble discovered galaxies are moving away from us and the universe is expanding. He located other galaxies similar to ours and concluded that they are moving away from each other.
George Lemaitre argued that the physical universe was initially a single particle, which is the primeval atom, which exploded, giving the rise to space and time and the expansion of the universe that continues to this day. Also discovered the birth of the Big Bang cosmology. Robert Oppenheimer was the father of the atomic bomb. In 1942, he was the director of the Manhattan Project, which is the atomic bomb testing explosions. Fred Hoyle introduced the concept of nucleosynthesis in stars, which is the process of nuclear actions in stars. In 1980, he also discovered the theory of panspermia, which is the origin of life on Earth must have involved cells which arrived from space. Penzias and Wilson found evidence to support the Big Bang. He announced the identification of the glow of the light that was released when atoms first formed. Armstrong and Aldrin were the first humans to walk and land on the moon on July 20th. Their ship, Apollo 11, landed in the Sea of Tranquility.